Namaste
Hey
Techies.
Techies.
Namaste
Namaste
Anoop.
Harjit.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Always, we bring so much energy and joy to the
Yeah.
world. So I hope everybody gets excited when we have our new episodes every time,
Yeah,
and you're enjoying it.
we should look for some funny costume also, right? So that
We should. Yeah. Maybe one of these days I should have a turban because as a
yeah,
Sardarji.
yeah.
Yeah. Long story short, I used to wear a turban
Uh-huh.
when I was a teenager. So,
Oh, that's
my
good.
background being a Sikh,
Good to
I used
know.
to have a
Yeah.
turban. So now I wear caps. Anyways, so today we have a special guest who has we had him before, and we're super excited to have him back to talk about some cool technical things with us, right? Uh,
Yes.
he's our good friend and Microsoft MVP and a Daisy. Uh, hey, let's welcome Joy. Welcome,
Ooh.
Joy.
Hey, Namaste
Hello,
Namaste.
Techies. Yeah,
namaste.
it's
Oh,
good to be back in the Namaste Techies session after a long time. Basically,
yeah,
last
yeah.
time
We
I
had
was
you
here,
for a while back. You did an
yes,
autopilot, demo and discussion that was really popular. Our viewers really, really enjoyed it. It's one of our best uh, sessions, really, episodes. So I'm really excited. I know not so excited, but it's okay. He's
No, I'm not excited because last time we were talking about you love the hybrid Azure AD join, right? Then you suddenly changed and now you don't love hybrid Azure AD join. You only love Azure AD join, Harjit. How is that possible at all, right? That's why I'm not liking it.
no comments.
yes, last time I was here, I was talking about the customization that I did for the hybrid
Mhm.
Azure AD join. Uh,
Yes,
at the end of the day, I don't like it,
me
but
too. I don't like it either.
there there are solutioning teams and other behind the scene stories that sells the hybrid solution to the customers where you have to go in and implement that so you don't get a choice
Right,
basically.
right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Maybe
But
we should all
today we are
change.
not talking anything about hybrid.
No, no hybrid. But maybe we should change our Twitter handles. No hybrid one, no hybrid two, no hybrid three. We should.
Hybrid work is fantastic, I would say.
Yeah, we don't want to talk to you anymore. All right. So listen, what would you like to talk about today? What do you want to share with the tech community for a technology thing?
So today I think like we will be all speaking about the latest service release from Microsoft that is aimed towards helping IT pros in managing the Windows updates in the environment. So
Mhm.
it's you already know about it. So it's Windows Autopatch that we are going to talk about today.
Windows Autopatch, cool. And in fact, I'm going to put a plug in for one of my colleagues, Leo, who actually wrote the blog post just recently for the GA release of Autopatch. He's the product manager for Autopatch, so just give him a little plug. And he's also kind of new to Twitter, and he's getting his feel for Twitter, so I'm helping him expand his reach. So
Go ahead
here we
and
go.
follow
So
him, follow him, follow him.
follow him. Well, we'll share his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
anyways, Joy, take it up. Talk to us about Autopatch.
So when we before we actually get into this autopatch thing, I think we need to understand how Windows patch management within the Microsoft ecosystem has evolved over the years. So if I'm allowed to share my
Sure,
screen,
sure.
so I would like to take this through as a story where if you look into the Windows patch management for enterprise environments, it started with the traditional legacy systems. Once upon a time, it was not legacy, but now it's definitely legacy. So it all started with if we say the Windows Server update and the SCCM,
WSS.
so WSS and SCCM. Uh, it helped the IT pros to manage the patches for Windows before Windows 10, and still now it is continuing to help IT pros manage the updates for Windows 10 and also Windows 11 devices. But then there is a line that comes in here because this becomes the traditional one where Microsoft moved to a more modern system, and we see the introduction of Intune coming into the picture, which is now rebranded as Microsoft Endpoint Manager. But still, so Microsoft Intune for us who has been working for it, and Windows Update for Business. uh, this two products and these two different lines of basically achieving the same goal. So you want to patch your device, you have two options, whether it is being patched traditionally or modern. Here comes the line, and here where Microsoft moved from the fixed life cycle to a modern life cycle policy, if we look into it in that way. But then even if we see organizations still today, many of them are reluctant to move towards the modern patching with Intune. They stay in a state of co-management where the Windows update workload is still set to SCCM so that they are able to continue with the WSS patching. Uh,
Mhm.
I would say that is in the fear of losing control, because you get a greater control with WSS and SCCM, how you want to deploy the patches, and also you have greater reporting capabilities than what Intune currently offers. But then it needs to be understood that Intune was not actually from the beginning meant for the reporting of Windows Update, because the telemetry that the device is sending to the Windows Update service and not Intune. The telemetry that Intune gets is about the deployment of the ring policy, whether that policy succeeded or not. And then Intune has to go and fetch the actual update deployment of the devices from the Windows Update Service, and Microsoft is working on it basically. So we now see a good number of reports that are currently in preview, which gives you. But the if you look into from the reporting perspective, then update compliance is the best way that you can get. That's an Azure solution that you get, and you can create your dashboards and things like that. But then Windows Update for Business and Intune didn't give you that control that the IT pros were expecting from, like they are used to with WSS and SCCM. So we see another product that was built on top of this, which is the Windows Update for Business deployment services, which basically helps you to target particular updates to your particular devices, or basically gives you a greater control than what Windows Update for Business was ever meant to do. And and here in Windows Update for Business Intune and Windows Update for Business deployment services, we get that ring concept where basically the things that we need to do are three tasks, that is plan, prepare, and deploy. So you plan your rings properly, you create the rings and create the deployment groups and assign it. And then virtually like it's an automated solution. You don't need to go into uh, approve the update, like take care of seeing that the updates are getting to the distribution points and all those kind of things. So it's virtually like already automated if you are good enough to plan your rings and do the things. But still, like, because as I told, like we saw there's still reluctance from organizations moving into the modern world of patching, and therein Microsoft introduced the new service or the latest service, that is the Windows Autopatch. That's something that is automated, managed by Microsoft. So I think it's a great addition and a great uh, delivery from the Microsoft for its commitment that it is pushing towards the modern life cycle of the endpoints of the Windows devices. And it's basically a way of saying, like, if you are not able to do what I want you guys to do, then let me do it for you. Uh,
Right.
I will put it in that way. So basically, Windows Autopatch, if we look into it technically, then it's nothing new. So there is no new technical service that has been introduced or developed by the product team. It's basically the Windows Update for Business and the deployment services, uh, added with a sprinkle of automation on top of that, where you get
Yeah.
the rings and everything created automatically for you, and you just need to put in your devices to a particular group, and it will automatically take care of which ring the device should belong to based on the threshold algorithms that are selected in behind, and you are ready to go. But then, like, if you are going into Windows Autopatch, or if you're there are certain requirements that the tenant needs to meet, uh, if you want to take benefit out of it, does not means like you cannot continue using your Windows Update for Business or your manual rings that you created.
Yeah.
So that's basically, like, if we talk into it, so we see a evolution in the way Windows patching has been done in the enterprise landscape. So that's all about
The
this.
modernization approach, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
So, like you said, right, Autopatch is basically Windows Update for Business, other than it's managed by Microsoft. So it's more like you said, it's a managed service, like having somebody else take care of it for you. So, IT departments and things like that, spend a lot of time, you know, doing patching and all those things that goes with, monthly patches and whatever, they can
Mhm.
be, all can be automated and taken care of by Microsoft, and they can do other things in IT that they need to do for the organization. That's basically what it
Yes,
is. Yeah.
that
Um,
is it. And
mhm.
it is not something like, if because this has a hard requirement of the Windows Enterprise licensing, the 3 or the 5 Windows 10, 11 Enterprise, E3, 5, which basically, like, you are taken care of if you are a M365 licensed customer.
Right.
Again, I would say not all the M365 licenses have the Windows Autopatch capabilities, because the F3 and the education versions does not contains the Windows Auto Patch, right? So it's only the M365 E3 and E5s. So if you are one such customer, you are already taken care of for that. But if you are a EMS customer still, like you are still on EMS and O365 licensing, then you would additionally need to get the Windows 10 or 11 enterprise licensing to take benefit out of it. So should you do that, like get the license just for this particular feature, obviously, like, moving to the M365 license has its own pricing benefits, but I won't go into that. But if you just speak out, like, should I go for that for this particular feature only, I would say, like, it is doing something that you can also do, because at the end of the day, it is just creating a few policies, a few rings, a few deployment services, which if you had done during your migration to the modern journey with proper planning, that is also the same automated way that you get.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying there, but for example, the same thing happens with, my website or my blog, right? My blog site. You know, yeah, you can sign up with a hosting company, right, to host your blogs and all that stuff, and then you can technically manage the updates and the add-ons and things like that. Let's say it's WordPress, right? Whatever. But I found that when I was doing all of that stuff, I was running into issues with, security things, right? Either hacking or um, my blogs were getting like destroyed by whatever. So I ended up going with a managed service provider for my blogs, where all of that stuff is taken care of for me. I don't have to worry about it, right? My WordPress is updated, my PHP is updated, my whatever else that needs to be is updated. I just use the service, the solution that I'm trying to do, which is blogging. So sure, can we do a lot of things? We can, but it's time consuming. And then you also have it could change, right?
Definitely.
So you can set up your own automation and stuff today, but maybe 2 months later something changes and that's gonna break. Whereas this is managed. So this, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But
But anyways, like this is a move in the right direction. For me,
mhm,
like obviously, like if we talk about modernization in the whole point is taking the stress out of the lives of the IT admins like us. So it's a move in the right direction. But again, like
but
it is not doing
honestly,
anything
right,
that
but honestly,
cannot be
the
done.
introduction of Windows Update for Business has been tremendous, has been amazing. I have to admit, when it first came out a few years ago, it felt very consumer-like for me, right? It was more like your home systems, when you go and, check Windows updates and Microsoft takes care of it for you, that kind of concept. But then it's evolved and became something more for enterprises, and to a point, like you have the update rings, you have all that jazz, right? And then I like the way you put in number three there with deployment service. Well, that is when you have the greater control on top of Windows Update for Business, like making like you X number of devices need to be updated by such and such a date. And you can have that the filtering stuff, the if this then that kind of scenario. So great
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, um,
all
the
all these started from SOCM.
well, yeah. So I
So the
love
logic
this.
the
Yeah,
logic
and
is almost, I think, taken from SOCM. So I
yeah.
think
But
the
Well, no, it actually
orchestration of
started from
this.
WSUS, right? So
No,
we didn't have.
before that it was SUS, right? I started my stuff with SUS.
Yes,
It was SUS before, and then
SUS,
yeah,
and then
server
then
update
WSUS.
services, yeah.
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 But when you think about it, that was a tool that we had to use if you really wanted to patch your environment. But it did this job. It was a bit. It didn't have a lot of granular control. I mean, like in terms of reboots and it was kind of hit or miss depending on the time you set and whatever. And then obviously then SCCM or config manager came in the picture. It's using WSUS behind the scenes. Now you have more controls, and but the issue with using, config manager is that now you're managing an update list, where else Windows Update for Business is a matter of just turning it on. You don't see the list of updates. It's just that Microsoft will take care of the updates for you. You just need to enable it and choose your rings. So good progression. I love this. I love
So
this.
so in this progression, we see like improvements throughout the way, like from managing the update catalogs with WSUS. You don't have to manage the update catalog with Windows Update for Business.
Yeah.
Instead, you just plan and prepare your rings with the deferral periods and the grace periods that you want, and let it remain automatic mode. Month on month the updates will go into your device. But suddenly, let's say like a new update or a security update or a out of box patch came out from Microsoft, and you have a deferral period of 5 days or 6 days on your ring, but you
Yeah.
want that particular update to go to your devices directly at that moment. uh, w- Without the deployment services, the only option you had would have been to pause the ring, change the settings, deploy, redeploy it again, and make the deferral period 0. But then also it took time for the devices to like go through those changes and get the
Mhm.
update. So there came the deployment services. which lets you to expedite the updates irrespective of what deferral period you have set in your update ring. So it's basically like telling, ignore my settings, but do what I'm telling you now.
Right.
Go
Well,
and
and
It
look
is
then
that
with
all
up.
that
about.
you have. You go ahead, Anoop.
So
No, no, go ahead.
it is all about like uh, giving the responsibility to Microsoft, and we are washing our hands off. Now, if there is any problem, team is going to come after you with a patch compliance issue. You are going to say, it's not my issue. Go to Microsoft now.
I I I I I would have come to that point now, because one of the most stressful thing for IT admins who are taking care of the daily operations is to provide the month-on-month compliance report for the patching. With Autopatch, you can, if something goes wrong, like the device falls from say a certain percentage, you can just wash your hands off and point it out to Microsoft, like, we don't manage the updates anymore, it is managed by Microsoft. But then
Well, as long
I
as you
wouldn't.
have your configuration set correctly, right? Because oftentimes we like to pass the blame and buck to somebody else, but we don't do our due diligence. Like, well, are there internal infrastructure issues, right? Or
Yes.
firewall blockages. You may have a sysadmin all of a sudden decides to set up a new security appliance or something, and that's gonna could throw an issue and stuff like that. So yes, I get what you're saying, but I think it takes two to tango, right? Two hands to clap. So if this hand is clean and nice,
Definitely. So
then
That's
yeah,
both have to
so
work together, because at the end of the day,
exactly,
Microsoft
exactly,
is providing a service, and we as the consumer, we are consuming it. So
consuming it. Yeah, yeah,
both have to like gel
yeah,
together to get the benefit out of it.
yeah. And yeah,
and
and you'll get
it's
better service because this is you got SLAs and stuff like that, and this is a managed service. So of course, Microsoft's going to look into and make sure that, hey, why is it not working? What are there some anomalies or whatever, right? And they remediate that stuff. So with all of this modern solutions for patching, we there are added features and added benefits, for example, like expedited updates and stuff, right? We get those out of band patches every now and then, like, it'll, oh my God, there's a real major security the breach and all that, here's a patch that came out, but now it doesn't jive with your patching cycle. Well, with expedited updates, you can turn that on, pick that last whatever expedited update it is, or the other band. It'll do its thing within a day or two that you set, and then it'll recognize and respect your update rings. It's not going to change anything, right? So those are some things that people don't realize that are available in there. There's known issue rollbacks that are built in to revert updates automatically if you're using these modern features. I really like it. Fantastic. This is
yeah.
amazing.
And I wonder like why we are not promoting MMD, right? So we are talking a lot about auto patch. We are talking it's a buzz, right? IT community kind of created a buzz about auto patch. Why not MMD? MMD is a great solution. We can say again, wash off our hands and say like, oh, Microsoft is managing my devices.
Yeah, and
Why?
there are organizations that use MMD to, hey, you know what? You take it. You manage our devices in terms of our right
If we
for
if we
security
look
and
into the
mhm.
device as a service space, then MMD is definitely one of the products from Microsoft that has uh, like urged other service providers, like uh, there, I won't take names, but they have also came up with their own device as a service programs, which they are selling, partnering with the device manufacturer OEMs like Dell, HP, and things like that.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it's all about like I don't believe like it's a problem for if you are running an organization and your organization is an IT organization, you wouldn't have problem in managing your devices. But if you are into any other business function, maybe you are a manufacturing unit, you are something else, and you are like creating a IT space for running your organization, which most of the time is
For
basically
internal
outsourced.
purposes, like managing
Yeah, internal
the
person
factory
purposes.
devices and
Yeah,
yeah.
and in such cases, like you are basically spending time and effort in managing your own IT infrastructure, where IT is not your main business function. Your main business function is
Mm,
something
good
else.
point.
And
Mm.
in something like at the end of the day, you are basically outsourcing it to some other service providers only. But if in the same place you get something that is being managed for you on behalf of you, but you still get to focus on your business, that's a
Yeah.
win-win situation, I believe.
Yeah, it's
So
just that Anoop
it's
wants to.
definitely hard for us. It's definitely hard for us because we are getting our responsibilities cut down.
No,
uh,
no, it's because Anoop brought this up because he wants to be MMD now. He wants to start his own MMD. Uh, he's got a team already. He's got like probably 50 IT guys ready. Anyways,
uh, it will be ADS, Anoop
so
Device Service.
you have written a couple of blog posts. Would you like to share those and maybe just go over real quick on what your readership and all that can get out of those?
Yes, so basically I did recently I did two blog posts on Autopatch. So
Hmm.
where I have gone into details of how you can go ahead and basically
Set it up.
set up the Autopatch and the requirements, whether you meet those requirements or not, which tells you through this.
Hmm.
Uh, One like get patched with Windows Autopatch, and the second part is obviously like part two of this with the same name. So these are the two blogs that I have done. Uh, Nothing
Beautiful.
technical in there. Nothing
Yeah.
like it is technical in there, but I won't go into the technicalities in this call
No, no.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
at the end of
I
the
know
day,
what you
like
mean by nothing technical. I know your blogs, right? So it
Yeah.
is level 3, level 4 stuff.
I
And
think
this
it's
is
level
from,
5 usually.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. He's pretty modest. He doesn't like to,
yeah.
you know, nothing technical. I so
but yeah, so this is basically like a walkthrough of this new service. So uh, the M365 developer tenant that we use at a test tenant, it does not comes with the Windows Enterprise licensing. I had to basically purchase one Windows Enterprise licensing on an annual commitment to try out this new service.
yeah, I had to do the same too.
That's crazy. Why don't we MVPs get the enterprise licensing? That's
I
a
think you
question.
guys do. I think that's a different.
No,
But I know when I
but
was
they
Microsoft
are
MVP,
looking into
I
it.
had my tenant. I think I had the trial licenses for EMS and stuff like that to do that. But then after that, I lost all of that when I joined Microsoft, and I did the same thing with you. Like I bought my own subscription and stuff so I can keep my tenant going. But yeah, no, it's good. I think it's a great reference for everybody to follow. I see
Yep.
it's really nicely written in terms of
So
how
the
to enable it, how to
requirements,
get started.
asymmetric,
Yeah.
everything you get to like if
Mhm.
you want to try it out, you can refer. And there, I think there's a similar walkthrough guide with different inputs, obviously, but
Mhm.
it is also there from Anup sir as well
Yeah.
on Autopatch.
Jitesh.
Nah,
So
don't
you
bother with
guys,
that. No.
It was Jitesh, not me.
Yeah.
uh, so like guys like who want to try it out can refer to any one of them like which you want. uh, so like you get the information. at the end of the day, it's all about information that you want.
Yeah.
You get
Are
it
you
here or
are
you get
you
it there.
are you working on like a series on this? Because I see you got part one, part two. Are you like working on like breaking it down into like different sections of it? Like what maybe like uh I don't know, there's other things that you
So
you
You
this
know,
series is
he will do
basically
he will do a reverse engineering thing after some time, not now. So
uh,
probably that can.
yeah.
as I
I'm
said,
sure, I'm
like
sure. Yeah.
there is basically not much to reverse engineer in here because it's typically reusing what was already existing. So part
We
one,
we could we can actually introduce you to someone in the community who will be gladly enjoy reverse engineering. But that's another story.
uh, I
Carry on, carry on.
Yeah.
yes. So
Anyways,
part
no,
one,
yeah. What about
so
like
part one,
troubleshooting things for auto patch, maybe are there like logs and things like that in relation to this service? Uh,
I would say the logs would be still the same that you would
mhm.
check if you are patching your devices with Windows Update for Business. So
Okay.
like it's basically using the same thing. The only thing here that needs to be mentioned is like we talked about this progression from WSS SCCM to
Hmm.
Windows Autopatch. Uh, there is one important topic of co-management which comes into space
Oh,
where devices are being managed by both SCCM and Intune. And if you have your devices in such kind of state and you want such devices to be patched with the Windows Auto Patch service, one thing that is important to remember is that uh, the device configuration workload, the Windows update workload, and the M365 enterprise application workload needs to be set to Intune. So basically, like Windows Autopatch service uses the Intune device ID, correlates it with the Azure AD device ID, and
okay.
then sends it to the Windows Update for Business. So Azure AD device ID is still the main anchor for your devices getting update from the Windows Update for Business service, and it's also the same thing that the Windows Update for Business deployment services talks to. Uh, but the Intune
Mm.
device ID is something that is required by Autopatch because
Okay.
uh, like the profiles, Autopatch is creating a few profiles which is configuring the telemetry, the Windows health settings on the devices automatically. So if your device configuration profile workload is set to SCCM, then obviously Intune won't be able to go ahead and deploy those profiles to those
Right.
devices. Similarly, like if your Windows Update workload is set to SCCM, then how will Intune go ahead and set the Windows Update for Business ring channel on those devices? So
Right.
it's pretty much logical if you think sequentially how a service works, and then based on that you can work it out.
No, that's a great tip. Seriously, I think that's a very useful tip that you just provided, because I think that would be a question probably a lot of people are asking. Hey, we do co-management. We have, cloud attach and, we're using CMG and, all that stuff. How does this work? Well, what do we need to change and right? So you gave a really good feedback right there about this. Is there anything else we
So
want to cover? Oh, go ahead, Joy.
yeah, just on this particular image, because that is the only image we have, I would still say like if we draw the boundary after one and we see into the modern aspect of the service, which are point number 2, 3, and 4, uh, basically this can coexist in an environment. So you can have a customer managed section where you have your own update rings and deployment services policies that you are managing. And then you can also run a pilot batch to test devices into Windows Auto Patch. So basically, both can coexist in the same environment. And
Oh,
once you
perfect.
feel that you are confident enough with Windows Auto Patch and you see that it is doing good for your environment, you can maybe slowly move out devices from your manual Windows Update for Business rings into the Windows Autopatch device service, basically.
Okay. That's a good point that they can both coexist. So you can do your testing in a small, so you don't have to do all or nothing. You can just do
Yeah,
a small batch, like you say, and just keep an eye on it, see how often, how fast, and get the compliance for that. That's great. Yeah. Anything else,
and
Anup? You have
the
any
other thing
questions?
So, Joy.
I would say, like, one thing particular I want to show about Windows Autopatch in here is in the admin center, the reporting that you currently get for the Windows Autopatch. If you see into this, the Windows Autopatch quality updates, obviously it's in
Quality updates.
preview,
Okay.
but then the reasoning, what you get into details, that is something that you do not get for your manually configured Windows Update for Business ring in Intune as of yet. You
Oh, this
get
is
all these
amazing.
details.
Hmm.
You get all these details definitely if you are using your update compliance and setting the devices are sending the telemetry to your
Right.
Azure workspace, and you create your dashboard there. You get all those details. But this thing that
It's
like
built
the
in.
MEM admin center, the built-in that you get from here is quite amazing for this
Hmm.
new service.
Yep.
And it's
That is very
definitely
useful.
Microsoft working on a good reporting for this
Yep.
particularly, because most of the time the complaints for Intune regarding Windows Update management is about its report.
Yeah, and I like how it's broken down in different sections here, like in terms of, no heartbeat. That means the machine's not
Yeah,
on, it hasn't connected.
so you get
Um,
all those sections and the
right.
reasons to which particular reason that device belongs to, and
Hmm.
maybe
Policy
like
blocking
if
is a good one right there. Policy blocking.
yeah.
You could have set like I said, remember we talked about two hands or it takes two to tango. You could have set some policies and applied to some, group of devices. And of course, they're not going to get patched, So this is a good way of actually picking that information out. So
And one
fantastic.
of the my most favorite terms in here is the insufficient usage or the end user behavior on the
Hmm.
device. The reason which is the device is not getting patched. You do not use the device for long enough to the Windows Update agent on the device to act. Insufficient disk space available for the update to actually download and do the
Right.
works and things like that. So
Right.
this particular thing is nice in here.
Right. Yep. I can see that happening to Anoop's computer because he doesn't really use much. He's more of a mobile iPhone. Anyways, carry on. So no, seriously, this Joy, this is great. You shared like a ton of stuff here. Love your blog posts and especially the reporting section that you highlighted. So that's fantastic, man. A lot of good tips as well, right, Anoop?
Yeah, and I can see Joy, small Joy, Junior Joy over here
Ah,
uh,
yes.
in the
Yeah.
background. I'm going to highlight that in the video with an arrow mark or something like that.
Well, nobody knew that little Joy in that picture would get those awards at the back of him too.
Hmm.
You know?
This
Uh,
can also be like if an arrow is put in like this in between, this also shows an evolution.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Good
Exactly.
one.
The
Good one.
modernization. I can see the modernization from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, from black and white to color.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
I think
the,
I think do you have a guitar nearby somewhere?
do you want to like
No.
tune us out to a nice Bollywood
Maybe,
song?
maybe next time, right?
Maybe next time. Yeah,
You're gonna do
not
that
now.
next time. Seriously, you're gonna
Uh,
do that.
Sure.
And so, anyways, if people don't know what we are talking about, Joy is not only a very skilled technical guy, but he's also a great singer. Uh, and
I
I
would I would put that great into quote unquote thing.
no, no,
So
no, no, you're good, man. You're
no.
good. I watched your latest posting on that, and actually, I was amazed. It was amazing. It was not just whether you can sing in good melody and tones. It's the you get right into it. You feel it. What I'm saying. It's like, and especially, well, us being Daisies, the words are also amazing, right? For the song and stuff like that. So I liked it. I really enjoyed it, man.
So
So
those are basically like the school days and the college days hobbies, like
yeah,
learned to play guitar, play keyboard. Singing is something that I never learned. So like as I learned guitar and keyboard, I got to like sing along, and I saw that okay, so my voice is not that basura, if I can say, like out of tone. So it goes well. So it started, but like after leaving college and getting into this corporate world nowadays, so I would say like I hardly get time enough to pick the guitar and do some uh, jigs on that. But yeah, definitely when we get
yeah.
time sometime maybe.
Next one, you're gonna do that.
Yeah,
I know because I keep trying with Anu, but he's still struggling with Sare Gamapa. And
yeah, definitely next time we will do something.
yeah,
We will come
uh,
up with a Namaste Techie theme song.
yes, you should do that. We need a theme song for Namaste Techies. That'll be cool. Nice tunes, something fun, something lively. Oh yes, and then answer Namaste Techies. Anyways, Joy, it was great. And wonderful always. And you're gonna come back again for sure. And oh wait, no, not yet, not yet.
No.
Until next time, you know where to find us. And
And don't forget to follow Joy on Twitter.
yes, follow Joy on Twitter, follow Leo on Twitter,
Yeah.
follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Or dislike button is not valuable. So don't do
Yeah,
that. Right?
yeah. So just like it, just
Yeah.
like it.
Just like it.
All right, thank you, everybody. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste and keep helping others. Community
Yeah.
rocks.